Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. In the upper right-hand corner we have Huck as the blue protoss, bottom left-hand corner we have Softball as the red terran. This is on Xel Naga Caverns, and I got this from se2replays.net as they put in their files. It's like advanced technology. I believe this is from Blizzcon, so I don't know what round this is in, but I just saw that it was from Blizzcon, had Huck, was on Xel Naga Caverns, and I figured I gotta cast this. And then Softball's just kind of a bonus. Softball's a really high-level Taiwanese player, and I kind of wanted to, but generally that's kind of out of the range of the replays I get. Usually I end up with North American stuff, and on very rare occasions, some sort of Korean replay, although everybody else, their mom usually casts the Korean replays before I do. That'll change in the future, one of these days. But Softball, I wanted to see maybe if there's a different style in Taiwan, because I know across the different regions there tends to be different style of play, particularly in Korea obviously, but wanted to see maybe the Taiwanese flavor in that region of things, although I don't think I'm not sure that it's separated from Korea, so might have a lot of influences there. Huck sending out a very early scout, wants to make sure he sneaks in before Softball has sealed off his front door. Maybe do a little bit of harassment with that probe. One thing I do like is he's placed that pylon very close to his base, so once he builds that gateway, it'll also be somewhat close, because this is a very good map for Reapers, because look at this nice long wall where Reapers can hop up, do some harassment. As long as he's got that gateway a little bit closer and a little bit of pylon coverage back there, he can warp a stalker to help deal with it almost immediately. Looks like he's already done some harassment. Very nice play right there, pulling the probe just before it was going into health, so just zero shield, immediately pulled it back, already did some damage, and already disrupting Softball quite a bit, because you can see he's having to do a lot of SCV exchange and just little bits here and there. It's really throwing him off, and you can tell he's losing a bit of his economy, and Huck once again pulling back at the very last second. Now you have a barracks that's still mining here, and there's still, you can see there's still an SCV hanging out there, but he's done some damage, and that might help later if he manages to get some stalkers up there and harass a sentry, a zealot, something. That'll be fewer hits, and I feel like it's disrupted Softball a little bit. It looks like Huck's starting to back off now, and he might think about exiting before that Marine is produced. Looks like he's pushing his way out. A gateway early cybernetics core and a simulator, so it doesn't look like we're going to see any sort of early zealot pressure or anything. Well, never mind, there's a zealot right there, but not chrono boosted, perhaps just to provide a little bit of buffer on that front door, chase that SCV around, rather than any sort of early information dialogue running away with the resources. Well claimed, well claimed. And I love this pylon here on the corner again, just to keep an eye out, just first of all to keep an eye out for that SCV that might be trying to hide in a corner or something like that, but also to get a good look if any Reapers started pushing up. But instead it looks like Softball opening up reactor first, so perhaps a larger infantry dedication. He definitely did get that gas post haste. He also has that orbital command working for him, but perhaps thinking about some early pressure. And I've seen a lot of Terran do this sort of early two barrack style, just to keep their opponents kind of, not to fully dedicate something, to still have the ability to harass, to try to keep your opponent honest, and then not really reveal whether you're going to go full tech and not whether you're going to go an all-in, or whether, because you can move back on it. And it looks like Huck actually going for a fast expansion. He's going to have some difficulty holding this off, so he's actually already pushing these troops to the front door, and this is brilliant by Softball, actually hiding the scout to the 3 o'clock position so he can go back in and scout this expansion, because this is essentially, this is the dedication from Huck, pushing up with that stalker, that zealot. He wanted to try to catch, first of all, to pin Softball back, do a little bit of harassment, perhaps delay, but also to catch any scouts that might have been coming out of Softball's base, and Softball hiding that is going to be able to run in, see absolutely everything, and you can see Huck immediately falling back with that stalker and with that zealot, and that is going to open up an opportunity for a response from, and I honestly, looks like you already have the concussive shells upgrade going. Already a single zealot, a decent amount of Marines, and probably would have wanted more zealots right there. But SCV is pulling off the line for a very formidable attack from Softball, and Huck is going to have a very difficult time defending this and actually working on that destructible rock. So definitely thinking about a very long macro-oriented game. He's sneaking in a probe as well. Unfortunately, his zealot is away from home base. A little bit shocked by that, perhaps looking for extra scouts, but he is going to see this attack incoming, but probably going to sacrifice his zealot. Is able to provide a little bit of delay time, and it looks like he's just trying to be annoying and baiting, and actually canceling his natural expansion, which is very wise, because he was not going to be able to hold that attack back. But it's still okay, because he still has those 3 gateways in the background. It looks like they're getting warp gates as well, and it looks like, wow. So Softball running up with this attack, having to sacrifice 4 SCVs to do so, and Huck with a very, I almost feel like kind of in between creative build, planning some stuff. Let's see if he's able to defend it. Yes, beautifully able to defend it, because he had the sentries out in time to cast the force fields. I really love that play from Huck, essentially creating a wedge where maybe he could take the early economic advantage, but if Softball bit down too hard and applied too much economic pressure, and there's that Zealot running in that I was talking about, and those weak SCVs, again, they're getting killed a little bit faster, so Huck playing beautifully here, absolutely beautifully. Also getting a good look at all the tech in the back of the base. I think he got a good look at everything that was going on back there. Let's see if I can get a good view of him. Yeah, he sees that starport. He sees everything here at this stage, pretty much knows what's going on, knows that there's a factory out there just de facto, and this is really thrown Softball off. He pulled 4 SCVs, and that was mining time. But I really, oops, sorry about that. I really want to reiterate that Huck was just genius with that play right there. Building the 3 gateways, which he would have probably been able to refine, getting out the sentries, and then he's able to cancel that Nexus if Softball was doing something more aggressive, and he could have kept on with it if Softball had maybe gone for maybe a more economic build off that two opening barracks play. And I know it's not perfect and completely cut and dry like that, but I do have to say that was absolutely brilliant build, and I expect that to be emulated actually in the very near future by Protoss at large, if it's not already the standard already, which I'm sure it is. But I'm always behind the curve on these sort of things. So Medivac now in play, and it looks like Softball is going to try to make up for lost time. Knows he's probably behind economically because he pulled a lot of those troops off the field and dedicated a lot and didn't get a lot out of it, but might just be in a little bit of trouble here. And Huck has 2 very vulnerable stalkers, but oh wow, the Medivac completely undefended. Let's see if Huck is going to get some free hits, and that is really going to hurt, and that is a big mistake from Softball. Those 2 extra hits can mean a lot, especially in a later battle. Now Huck not only knows that the Medivac is coming, he's going to be pretty well prepared for it, hopefully, and it looks like Softball still moving this Medivac up just as a scout at this stage. He has nothing in it, but realizes, hey, the drop is busted. I might as well take a look at Huck's tech. So going around the corner is just going to basically sacrifice it. He's going to get a look, might not even get a look. He does see the robotics facility, does see a Colossus, so has a pretty good idea of what he's going up against. I think that's what he was assuming he was going to be going up against anyway, but at this stage is going to be in a better position to kind of cope with it. So barracks up, it looks like he does already have a reactor, building a Viking. You can see probably canceled Medivac, who was waiting on right there to get that Medivac out and kind of supplant it with a Viking to help against that Colossus early. And Huck now pushing up with a decent sized force. He's in an excellent position with this attack. He has a pretty strong economy already because again he had an early economic lunge on Softball because of those 4 SCVs off the line. Is actually decently ahead as far as just flat supply count goes, and that's not just harvesters. He's got a really good army composition right here. Softball sending out a single Marine and seeing trouble. Huck's got a really strong, wow, and planting pylons at Xel Naga Watchtower as well to just provide absolute map control, absolute position. Softball reacting, saying, okay, that's a sizable army. I need to spend 100 minerals now and bunker up just to play it safe. Now planting a couple more mules at the orbital command, so he is going to keep up economically. You can see he's just trailing about 100 behind. Huck hasn't actually tacked on any additional gas, but keep in mind that is also temporary economic boost. But Softball in an extremely defensive position. This is the thing, Huck opened up that rock extremely early, so he's going to be in an excellent position to take another base, and it looks like he's actually maybe thinking about doing it at this 9 o'clock position. Huck can go up, just put a little bit of pressure on and take the economic lead, and he doesn't really have to dedicate with any attack, but it looks like he is going up with an attack on the corner. Softball caught a little bit off guard, so Huck doing a little bit of damage there, but loses his Zealot as a result. Now engaging and able to split that army. Softball overcommitting, able to catch a lot of those Marauders, not even fighting, and able to completely destroy that army. So Huck really capitalizing on an attack, and I almost feel like I'm being this is the point of the commentary where people say, oh, you're being so biased to Huck, and I really I'm not being biased to Huck. He really is playing this well in this match, and Softball really is being handled in this regard. I'm not being flattering towards him at all. He's just playing this well. And it looks like he's just going to come in with the rest of that attack, and he's trying to group prepare that bunker. Huck is able to back off, but still in an excellent position. Loses a Colossus there. Actually might have wanted to back off that attack. The Marauders continue to attack right there, but Huck's still in a great position to take another base, to keep map control. He's hurt a little bit of the economy of Softball right there. Softball's still behind in harvesters. Overall, he's been distracted. I feel like he's been thrown off. He's definitely off his mental game, I have to feel. Huck, in the meantime, has his forward pylon. He can warp troops in as he pleases. He's already in a position to take an additional base for the long economic win. He's definitely economically ahead overall. He's just pumping out of a lot of these gateways. Like he's got that robotics, he's got the robotics bay just kind of hanging out there, just pumping everything he needs, and he's just in a really strong position. And it looks like he, in fact, is going to start isolating this 9 o'clock base. So essentially, all he has to do is control this area right here, and as long as he controls this area and applies pressure, more or less, that's going to kind of put Softball in a position where he's like, oh crap, I got to play a little bit more defensive. And in the meantime, Huck can continue to expand. And keep in mind, again, little boosts from mules right there, but that really, when you think about it in a 2-base situation like this, what that means is the mules are actually mining these expansions out faster. So yes, it's a short-term boost in economy, but at the same time, that's making these bases less effective, and they're gonna last less long, more or less. So yes, quick economic boost and still worth it, but nevertheless. And I also like what Huck is doing with these pylons. He's planting them out kind of at these corners, so Softball can't take a hidden expansion, which is really what he needed to do and just kind of a bonus catching this Medivac as well. And now Softball, I feel like he knows he's in a bad position. He's falling so behind, he's fallen so far behind economically. He's really fallen and actually moved out. He's backing up with this attack, and I think that's a mistake. What he really needs to do at this stage is to even have a shot at this match, and actually close to getting supply cap completely thrown off his game at this stage, is he just needs to load up everything. Maybe if he can get a ninja drop somewhere, but honestly, I just don't see it happening. Huck has really good coverage. He has pylons hugging these nexuses. He can warp in units, provide a little bit of delay time, and oh man, this is really bad luck. The Vikings running right into the large portion of the army right here. He's trying to redirect that Medivac. Might get a couple probes right here, but I don't think it's really going to be worthwhile for him. So yeah, now starting to back off. He's just going to try to pin the troops back, and he's going in for, okay, now the bulk force of attack. He realizes, okay, economically behind, it's time to go all in, but spotted by Huck by that pylon. For a second there, he thought about backing up, but he's got to realize, okay, this isn't going to happen, so I'm going to go for kind of a two-pronged thing, try to stop the probes here at the 3 o'clock, and no, he's actually backing off with this, and I don't know that I agree with this sort of play, and I think this is just one of those situations where Softball realizes he's just falling behind in the match. He doesn't know exactly what to do. Huck keeps spotting his army. He keeps looking for holes to kind of hit Huck, and it looks like he did manage to get some damage done there, but it looks like the Colossi right there now starting to move around, now approaching the main. Let's see if Huck is going to get caught out of position. No, Huck right there, the Colossi right alongside, and he can just head-on attack move into this army. Let's see if Huck's going to allow this to retreat. He still has some force fields with these sentries that he can plant. But the Marauder's actually doing really well. Some nice micro, but running out of stim quickly. One more stim. It looks like they are going to be able to get a little bit back, taking some damage, but Huck, with the size of his army, with that many Colossi, should be able to just attack move right into this. And yeah, that Medivac needs time to heal those troops, unfortunately, and it looks like he is going to move up. Softball once again isolated to 2 bases. Huck still maintains map control. Huck still maintains a solid economic lead. Oh man, that bunker has nothing in it. It's going to get taken down for free. Now the Vikings trying to isolate a little bit, but it's just too much. That is going to be GG, as I'm seeing the ending SC2 replay thing right there. There's GG from Softball. Really well played by Huck, top to bottom. I gotta say, that was one of the most stellar Protoss plays, just all the way from build front to end, I gotta say, I've seen in quite a long time. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.